Request all you to keep yourselves muted, please. We'll start the session. Please take asana, sit comfortably with your back, neck, and head in a straight line.
Ma, this picture is coming.
Bring your mind to the here and now. Observe your breath. And be aware of who is observing this breath. We will chant Om followed by Atmabodha. Sahana bhavatu, sahano bhunaktu, sahaviryam karavavahai, tejasvinavadhitamastu ma vidvishavahai. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Harihi Om. Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om. We will begin every session with an ode to the Guru Shankaracharya, who has put together this treatise for us to study, and to Swami Chinmayanandaji, because we are going to read his commentary on this treatise. Sadha Shiva Samarambham Shankaracharya Madhyamam Asmadacharya Pariyantam Vande Guru Paramparam. Sadha Shiva Samarambham Shankaracharya Madhyamam Asmadacharya Pariyantam Vande Guru Paramparam. Shruti Smriti Purananam Alayam Karunalayam Namami Bhagavat Padam Shankaram Lokashankaram. Shankaram Shankaracharyam Keshavam Badarayanam Sutrabhashya Kritau Vande Bhagavantau Punah Punah. Samasta Jana Kalyane Niratam Karunamayam Namami Chinmayam Devam Sadgurum Brahma Vidwaram. Sadgurum Brahma Vidwaram. Hari Om. So last class we just had started with the introduction to the book. I hope Pages have been shared. If you have not got the book already, I would request some people to turn on your videos. Otherwise, it's very sad talking to the computer. I hope I can see some faces at least. Thank you. Okay. Yes, actually, it'll be nice if all of you can turn on your videos too. Just at least it feels like we're in one room, even though we are not. So at the first page, we are doing the introduction. We went through it. A general brief was, it speaks about sufferings and sorrows forming a part of life's games, physical and mental. And we looked at the prana aspect as well, how all of these are interconnected in a way, and they connect us, connect the mental with the physical. The prana connects it. You see that and we also did some exercises to actually experience this change that happens within. The change in breath that happens when we are tired, how it affects our mental state, or when we are mentally fatigued, how, or our mental disturbances, how it actually translates as psychosomatic diseases on the body as well, the breath changes, and how we can take control over all of this through our breath, because that is one thing we can watch and we can. Yes, someone's mic is unmuted. Whoever, please request everybody to mute yourselves. I found. I have muted. Okay. So that's what we saw. So I've shared the page. If you could just start with page 2, we will. I would request anybody who has the book to read that page. We will go paragraph by paragraph. Anybody who would like to read? The first paragraph, on the whole, it means that each one of us who is suffering from there. Any volunteers, please? Yes, Anu.
On the whole, it means that each one of us who is suffering, and is there anyone who is not? From this inner malady is an unhappy center, spreading unhappiness and restlessness all around oneself. A solution to these problems, very complicated and extremely confusing to the average mind, is what we seek individually and collectively. The results of such investigations, conducted by the ancient rishis, and the data collected from their personal experiences constitute the bulk of our scriptures. Today, instead of searching for
We'll
any
stop
radical...
here, Anu. We'll go paragraph by paragraph.
Okay.
Okay. So, do we agree? On the whole, it means that each one of us who is suffering, and is there anyone who is not? How many of us feel there's no one who is suffering? I am not suffering now. Anyone who wants to refute that statement or challenge that statement, because many of us don't like this. I have heard this many times from many people. What is this basis? All the time talking about suffering and coming out of suffering as a mode to go to this scripture. I don't feel like I'm suffering. I like this world. I want to keep coming back to this world and be in this world and enjoy. Why should I really come to the scriptures? Why should I really study these scriptures or all these things? Why is there so much focus on suffering? I've many times heard this, but is there suffering? Why would you think some people just don't like that word suffering? Anybody who wants to challenge it?
Probably they associate suffering with only life-changing events, like a crisis.
Yeah.
So maybe they've not gone through something like that.
Yeah, it could be. Most of the times we look at external sufferings. I have enough money. I have that good life. I'm not really suffering. I have a car. I have this. I have that. So, but what is this suffering that Gurudev here is talking about? Swami Chinmayananda ji then.
If people are materially satisfied, materialistic life, if they have satisfied materialistic life, so they may feel that.
People who have materialistic satisfaction may feel that way.
Yeah, we have one leg on material side and one leg on spiritual side. So then we know what to choose.
Right, I agree. Materialistic satisfaction.
Yeah.
But most of us are reasonably materially satisfied, I mean, in a way, right? We are there at that material satisfaction level. So do we believe that there is no suffering? What is the suffering that is being spoken about here then?
No, we have suffering. That's why we are here mainly.
What is that suffering? Is it the materialistic suffering?
Not necessarily materialistic. It is not going, life is not going as per my wish, though it is not materialistic. Then we think why it's, I have done my duty properly. I have taken utmost care, everything. Then even then, why it's happening like this? The question mark comes. Then when there is no choice, then we turn inwards. Something should be wrong in me. That has given, for me, that is the same thing. Like I am materially satisfied, my career, my family, my social surrounding, everything is good. Even offspring wise also very good. So something as expected is not going, which I cannot do. If something is in my hand, I would have tried. I don't know about the result. I would have tried my best, whether I get result or not. This is not in my hand. So I can only surrender and pray for that. So then when I started that, so then I found that spirituality is the only way.
I will surrender and pray for it to go as per my expectation?
No. As per God's will, as per His will. Now everything as per His will.
Right.
Can I say something?
Yes, Siddharthi.
Actually, we all the living beings suffer, I think. It's just my understanding. Recently, I came across a pravachan wherein our Ramana Tirtha Swamigal, Nachur Ramana Tirtha Swamigal was explaining, we all suffer because we are all attached. We have that attachment, and any living being in that case, whether it is a human being or any other living being, everything has an Atma. Atma keeps constantly striving for something better. What is that better? It finds difficult to identify that. And even in spiritual practice also, we need to constantly, mindfully practice. Otherwise, we are tend to go off track with this worldly, materialistic things. So mentally, but during that time, again we start suffering mentally. See, it's all mental, psychological sufferings. It is not physical suffering or materialistic suffering we thrive for. Even though we don't have any monetary, economical issues or any other materialistic issues, we still suffer mentally. Why is that? Is without even our knowledge, some prarabdha karma makes us, I don't know how, he said some good word, I forgot, sorry, but it makes us do that. It makes us strive for it, search for it. Because we are ignorant, we will not be able to find it out. And I think even in Ramana Maharshi also somewhere said that when our mind starts suffering, that is the indication of God for us to travel in spiritual path, travel further into the spiritual path. So once we understand and accept and start doing it, definitely we'll find answer. but it's an ongoing process throughout. We cannot stop it. If we stop it, we'll come back to the square one.
Beautifully
This
shared.
is my understanding.
Beautifully.
Yeah, mind is monkey, correct?
Excuse me, ma'am, can I talk?
Yes, Premaji, please.
Prema, yes, actually, I lost my son all of a sudden 2 months back. We didn't expect, and he's a very loving, dutiful. I mean, what not? All best qualities. He helps others. Then he was looking after me very well because I was having problem with my husband because he's short tempered and always shout and all. So he took me, and 22 years I was with him. I used to visit my husband's house, come go, but he told that, "Mummy, you should not suffer. Why? The life is not suffering. You come and stay with me and be peaceful. You are spiritual, and then follow the spiritual path. Then everything will become all right." And now what happened? I was staying with him. He married and he got a child 8 years. Now all of a sudden, he had loose motion or something or food poison something. He died. He's 42 years. And then now, of course, thoughts are coming in between to me. But what I am thinking, no, he's somewhere. He's there. And he is looking after everything. Only what maybe financial. Now I am staying with my husband, and of course we don't have any fights or anything, but he is irritable and short tempered. So I find it difficult. Always, I was suffering, and I was. I won't tell others also, and I used to cry and all. My son knows about it. That's why he took me. So now I am with my husband, but now I am adjusting a lot and I am in the spiritual path. So this kind of, I mean, the same, he won't change. He's 82 year. I'm 76-year-old. He won't change. I am not expecting changes from him. I thought that I should change accordingly to him. So I am changing. I am peaceful and try to cultivate peace here. And those thoughts, when I stay with my stance, I used to get every now and then. But I used to think that he is peaceful in the brighter world upside. So I should not cry or I should not feel about his absence, so that he will be disturbed. His Atma will be disturbed. And and I am spending most of the time in this kind of classes, bhajans, music, and cooking also. Even though I have a spine problem, I'm taking physiotherapy every day. I may not be able to walk alone. I mean, I need help to walk outside and all. My daughter will escort me. My husband won't come with me. And I am satisfied with what I have got, and I am continuing my life. This is what my story.
It's very beautiful, and I really sorry for your loss, Premaji, but the way you are telling is very inspiring. Suffering can be a crisis. Suffering can be an opportunity for me to grow.
Yeah.
Whatever is given, it can be a crisis. So we seek solutions from the outside world.
Yeah.
But in reality, there is a growth within. Vindhya, you want to share anything?
We all have come to one word, suffering. So suffer is what we all are trying to actually decipher now. Like, what is it that we mean by suffering is what we are trying to gather now. See, somewhere we are associating suffering to something going against what we are wishing, something that is giving us pain or discomfort. This is what we are associating. We are actually discussing many ways how we are overcoming that, or we are actually keeping it aside. But the thing is, now Atmabodha or the study group or the spirituality, the words that we are using randomly here. It is all path to inward journey. Now, this suffer, what we are taking, the so-called pain or the discomfort or putting at dis-ease, not so ease. This is what is the circumstance now. So let us, in a way, you all have beautifully, expressed in your ways that how you are viewing this word suffer. Now let us analyze this suffering, going one step inwards, like, right now, moving us away from the comfort zone or putting us away from ease is what is suffering. We are slightly getting to know. Now, why is this happening? Why are we moving away from this comfort zone? Or let us take it this way, that there are two elements. Anything that we think of, any situation that we think of. Premavji was saying, very beautifully explaining certain things. So inspiring. Sudhaji was saying certain things. When we are coming across these things, it gave us two situations. One is that it goes our way, we perceive it as joy. Another one, it doesn't go our way or the way that we perceive, or even if it goes the way that we perceive, we are not fully satisfied. Why is that we are not satisfied? That is also giving us a discomfort. Now, there are only two ways, either there is ease or disease, comfort or discomfort. And through our few minutes of initial discussion, we have started perceiving or associating that anything that is discomfortable is suffering. Now, let us go one step inward, and the same situations what we have discussed now, let us take it that why is it that it is discomfortable for us? So let us think, is it putting us away from the thing? Let us take, like, Premaji was expressing something. If she can come in and then you say, like, why is it that you were saying adjusting? I'm coming around to change and all. It is very inspiring, but is it like, the suffering or the discomfort that is there? What is it that is moving you away from the comfort zone? That is making us perceive this. Two choice is disease. There is comfort, discomfort. Let us first start analyzing it, whether it is our thoughts, deeds, or our, like, words that we talk, kaya vacha manasa that we say. What is it that is going against, that is giving us suffering?
Before we even get into that, most of the times we are first blaming the world. Before even getting into my own kaya, vacha, manasa, we are at the world level. Before we turn inwards.
That is because even with our words, the thoughts, and our actions, we perceive the outer world is responsible for that discomfort. We have been put in that situation because of the external world. The thing is that the loss of a person or the irritability of a person or something is actually causing me that discomfort. We are now at the level of perceiving that the outer thing, the situation, what is coming to us, is actually moving us from that comfort level to discomfortable space. Anyone wants to add into this? I mean, here, let us pause and, contemplate. Maybe you want to add something. You agree, or there are some inputs that you all want to share?
It's something like what
Can I
yes,
say
Divyaji.
what ma'am is saying is like only when we focus our mind on it does it become suffering. Otherwise, it is just a discomfort. Discomfort isn't essentially suffering. No? I mean, you can be not comfortable, but will you suffer?
It's optional, actually. The thing is, see, as we grow inwards or we start elevating ourselves, we need not associate discomfort with suffering. But right now, when we are taking baby steps towards our inner journey, everything that is putting off the comfort zone, let us assume that it is like, we are at a discomfortable state, and that is giving us certain, like, pain or suffering. So this is at now, let us say at the first level, we are assuming that it is like that. Now, how do we? And if we take this situation, we need to go one step further and see that before we even take external world as a cause for this suffering, and even if before we move to our kaya vacha manasa, we need to assume that we were in a comfortable zone and there was some situation external or something that moved us away from that comfort zone, that we have started perceiving as suffering. Any thoughts on this?
Until we realize that everything is within me, the suffering will be there. Until I listen to that Panchadashi story, the 11th man, 10th man story, so we were seeking it outside. The missing goat, the 11th man story. And the best example is, see, people are divorced and again they remarry. They may get successful life. How it is for with one, it was not successful. With the other, it was successful. So it is not in the object. It is only within me. This is after I joined Arti's class over a period of 3 years. I have realized. Until then, it was only we were blaming outer world. The chair is not proper, that's why I'm getting back pain. I forget that I'm not exercising, I'm not doing dieting, I'm not taking care of my body. I only blame on the ergonometric principle of the chair, long sitting, working hours, this, that, and all. But actually, it is not so. Each and every aspect of life. So we don't give the valid reason for our discomfort. We point it outside. Once, if I turn inside, so everything is because of me. Because of my knowledge, my misunderstanding.
Very true. But can we all reach a point where we can say that we are at comfortable space, we are in a comfortable space or zone, and only right now, I mean, taking earlier, there was a question or there was a thought on this, that discomfort, when we are moved from that space, can we really associate it with suffering? But can we associate that we were comfortable in first place and some situation, some thought or something that needed my attention pulled me from that comfortable zone to discomfortable zone, putting me in a spot of, suffering? At simple. Any thoughts on this?
Is it because the mind is flooded with worries? So many fear of, fear that about changes, about safety, and all whatever kind of fear.
Many things. Mind is at play, like someone put, mind is a monkey. So it just needs one branch to the other. This minute, it is worried. Next minute, it is lustful. Next minute, it goes to jealousy. So mind needs something to thrive on. So we have loop of thoughts. We don't need, a single thought to move us away from that zone to another zone, to move to suffering. If we go to that level, the basic is Arishad Vargas. If you have come across, or we can get into that, discussion later in the discussions or sessions too. But it moves. It doesn't need one thing. But this shows that our mind is always looking for some branch. A monkey looks, it wants to jump, jump, jump. Now, before jumping, the thing is that are we comfortable with our own space? First thing is that giving us joy? I mean, I'm trying to make it that if I don't have any thoughts, if I don't have any branch that I'm seeking to jump on, that space of mine, what do we call it? Is it joyful? Is it comfortable? For a minute, think so. We all are in that space. Like I am saying this, I can next minute start thinking, what are my girls doing outside? Okay. Is it like, my dog is barking, someone is at the gate? Understand? Smaller things. The mind, if I'm not giving it food to thrive on, what is that space that I am in?
Peace.
Samadhi.
Yes.
That is actually samadhi.
Yes.
That is the blissful state,
But
actually, no thought.
yeah, you nicely
Blank.
said that the mind will be searching for food. It connects thought.
That is the ultimate happiness, actually, peaceful. No thought, no worries.
Yeah.
So that state of mind or our being, let us not get into mind also, because that also we perceive as a faculty. So let us say being. So when I am in that state of comfort, whatever we might like label it, peace, bliss, joy. Is it our true nature? Is
Yes.
it that we all have? Is it that we all want to focus on? We all want to reach. Is it the same crux of the discussion we started this session with? Like you were saying that we have everything. Materialistically, we are settled. But there is some discomfort, something that we need. I don't know what it is. That is the chanchalata that our state of being is going through. That we do not know what we want, but we all know that once there is no food to thrive on, there is no thought that we want to get into. We are in our own space, and that space is pure joy. Pure joy, bliss, peace, whatever we might state. Okay, now we will not even get into the discussion like, is this joyful state going to be like this? Like, is it going to be yellow in color, blue in color, or red in color? Let us not go to analyze that. But we have just one dot of a pin. We have got that this is the state that we are. This is the state we want to be all the time. Any thoughts on this?
Actually, ma'am, I think ego is the main cause for disturbances and fights, etc., etc. If you get rid of that ego, I think half of the problem will be solved, and the rest half, I mean, we have to be patient, we have to be tolerant. All these qualities, see, that's what I am doing now. I mean, when my son took me, I was happy. I'm enjoying everything is okay. But now my husband won't change because he is of the opinion that woman should obey, and he will dominate, he will accuse me, he will abuse me. And I tried so many times previously when I am staying with my son, and he used to run away to my son's place. I can't live here. My God, let me go. Why I am telling my experience, so that you people will come to know what is that suffering. I used to run away. I used to go to my son's place. I will tell him I'll stay for 1 week, but I can't. Within 2-3 days, I'll go. But now, see, he is not there. And my daughter-in-law and child is staying. And so I am coming. I came here. Daughter-in-law told me she'll manage, and she is going to work and all. And most of the time she is not at home. So मम्मी आप अकेली रहेगी इसलिए ना आप उधर ही रहिए ऐसा बोल के I am staying with my husband. But see, now I was trying everything, my tolerance, my patience, my ego, everything, I am putting aside. And I am concentrating more on spirituality. I mean, singing, music and Bhagwan bhajan. It's a, na, mera, I am converting everything there and I am very peaceful with him. And I used to tell him, be peaceful. But he won't listen. He will be the way what he is, and he is satisfied with what he has got. And I thought that I will better keep mom and I'll be tolerant, patient, and just like a child. I thought he is like a child behaving. It's okay. I'll tolerate. Like that, I am moving. So I am not unhappy. Previously, it was not like that. See, now I myself has changed according to him. So, I mean, our ego, I don't have ego. I thought that everything is due to karma. I am undergoing this. So let me have this kind of karma and I will become all right. And then I want to, got liberation. Liberation comes. I used to do meditation. I used to do cleaning. Cleaning means evening, if I do anything wrong, I used to pray God to forgive me. I will tell prayers like that, my life is moving.
Thank you, Premaji. So this is beautifully highlighting the point here. See, we are from our inner malady. It says on the whole, it means that each one of us who is suffering from this inner malady is an unhappy center. Somewhere somebody is unhappy, we are unhappy, we spread that unhappiness around us. We become that center, our vibration, we become that center, epicenter of how we feel. If I am unhappy, I spread unhappiness. If I am happy, that is spreading around, right? So somewhere the solution for this is a solution to these problems, very complicated and extremely confusing to the average mind. How do I find the solution to this whole problem? But the solution is actually very simple, what Vindhya just pointed out. I am in that spot. When something external happens, I move from this to that space. I am in a comfort zone, some tapatraya is happening. It can be an outside, it can be around me, the person around me. I make it becomes adhyatmika. I come with a prarabdha karma, that is different, but I make these outside surroundings a part of me and it becomes adhyatmika, and from that peaceful place, we move out, but we don't know this. We don't realize this at an average, as an average person. And for that is where our ancient rishis and our all of these have given these scriptures. And now what Premaji is telling is the power of the scriptures.
Exactly. And what Adhyatma should always be to reach to that epicenter, that joyful state that we were discussing right now. Instead, what happens is anything that comes in Tapatraya, we start associating it as our own thing. And like we were discussing in previous session, we assume that it is Adhyatmika, whereas it is not. We are only moving for that context. We move and come back. Now, Premaji was saying all these things. Surrender is the highest value. Maybe, like, in coming sessions, we can discuss more about it. That is what is happening in her state, that it has moved to that level that all the jnana ultimately, has to merge. Like, jnana without bhakti is lame and bhakti without jnana is blind. So that way, we all have to, with jnana, we have to ultimately reach that surrender state. But she is already there. But here we also come to a situation that when we are joyful, we are in our own state, that comfortable state, we always have a choice. And what Premaji is emphasizing now or exercising now is the choice and the power of choice. And that ultimate joy, that state what we have, is always complete freedom. Complete joy is equals to complete freedom. Always we have a choice. Either to blame, she didn't do that. She got back there and she accepted the situation. This was the power of choice. And when the power of choice comes, we have a superior force acting within us. And that is the grace we have. So this is only to bring it. This is a wide concept in itself, and maybe through our sessions, coming sessions, we can explore much of this freedom, choice, and how we are going to exercise this to be in our epicenter, the joyful state. But here, going ahead with we are still in the introduction part. So going ahead, this is what we can realize right now, that true joy is our true nature, our real nature. And then any situation externally moving us away from this is only momentary, and then we need not take it as adhyatmika, but we have to deal it with the other two tapatraya kind, that adi bhautika, or it's definitely not adi daivika, but adi bhautika, and leave it there at the context, and always fall back in our self.
Shall we move on to the second paragraph, or anybody wants to share?
Thoughts? Yes. Anybody, any thoughts?
Okay. Anu, can you continue with the second paragraph?
Yeah. Today, instead of searching for any radical solution and specific cure for this problematic disease and consequent suffering in life, what man actually does in society is to collect around him various kinds of escape distractions and compromise dopes through all kinds of foul methods. He vainly hopes to drown his sorrows in ever so many unhealthy indulgences. By these methods, at best, man succeeds in turning his mind away from the actual facts of life as they are. To analyze scientifically and to observe closely the nature and behavior of our outer world of objects and the inner instruments of experience in us are the methods employed in the Upanishads, by which the seers have discovered a happy solution for the great problems of man and his life.
If it's okay to quote Premaji's example, if you're okay, Premaji. So initially, we all do that, don't we? When I have a problem, okay, I'm having a problem, I'm not able to face it, so I seek solace wherever I'm able to find solace, I go there. Okay, in a way, when I seek solace, or when I seek a solution in the world outside, it's very transient and it is very temporal. Okay.
Yeah,
How long
true.
can I keep running away and seek solace somewhere? I have to face it at some point in time. That is the only time we can really come out of it. And we, and of course, here they're talking about, I'm sure for us, it may not matter here. Some people drink, I am in sorrow, so I'll drink. I'm in this, so I will, I'm very stressed out, so I need a smoke. So, those kind of things can also happen. Many people give those kind of examples. Yes, Sudhaji. But the thing is, as long as I am looking at solace outside, there is a tendency for that to become an attachment. And it's very transient. And then that itself can become a cause for my suffering in its way. Yes, Sudhaji.
In this regard, I remember the Mahapiri of Kanji Matta, Chandrasekhar Bharati Swamigal. He used to say, can I say it in Tamil? Is it okay?
Please do. We will try and translate it after that.
Okay, because what he said in Tamil, I'll just tell that one. ஓகே, உன்னோட கஷ்டத்தை நீ மனுஷா முன்னாடி, அடுத்த மனுஷா முன்னாடி போய் புலம்பாத, உனக்கு ஒரு லாபமும் கிடையாது. பகவான் இடத்துல போய் உட்காந்து நீ உனக்கு தோணினதெல்லாம் நீ பேசு, மனசு சாந்தம் அடையும். That's what he used to teach us.
So to translate that,
I'm doing it. Yeah.
Okay.
See, actually, what he meant was instead of blabbering with the fellow human beings, all your sorrows, go and sit in front of God and you blabber whatever you want. He will definitely listen to you. He will not turn your face, or he will not judge you, or he will not complain, or he will do nothing. He will listen to you completely, and you will find peace in that. And you will definitely find a light of knowledge out of that, so that you can come out of your blabbering, come out of your sorrow, or come out of your distress. That is what he used to teach all of us, all of his students.
That's so valid, because many times when we go and tell another adult, either we feel they may not listen, they start giving us solutions right away without understanding our problems also sometimes. And some people can listen well. Very few people can actually just sit and listen and just be there for you. But that higher reality is always there. And like what Vindhya was telling, that higher reality is nowhere else. We need a form, so it is perfectly all right, but the higher reality is there with us, as our substratum at all point in time. We just need to connect and have that beautiful relationship there. Instead of moving outwards, when I'm talking outwards, turn every opportunity, turn inwards. Whatever you want to do outside, do it inwards with the higher reality. Thank you, Sudha.
Two
Anybody
things.
else?
What Sudhaji was narrating, and then about the distractions that Gurudev has mentioned here. We have just got a glimpse of saying that our true nature is now that bliss or joy or whatever, that silence. Okay, that is there. Now we have a slight distraction, like, a pebble is put in the water body. There are ripples now. Now distractions, or like Sudhaji was mentioning, are like one ripple going and touching the other ripple. So this will only create more ripples, but it cannot silence down the ripples. So any situation that comes and we seek the solution or whatever we are seeking, like Aarti was saying, just listening, or you might be actually seeking solution to that so-called suffering or discomfort. It can't be a ripple. Ripple is that distraction. So if we are looking for that in other human being, other being, that he needs to listen, she needs to understand or give a solution, it is like a ripple. This will go and clash another ripple, creating more ripples. And this is only outward movement. It can never settle down the water. And to settle down the water, the pebble needs to sink in. It has to sink in and settle down. Only then the water will settle down. If the pebble, or so-called the object, is still bouncing in the water body, the ripples are going to happen as long as there is momentum to that object. This object is now our object of suffering. So the minute it sinks in, the water settles down. And how is that we are going to sink in? The only realization that our true nature is joy. And this joy, on the path of jnana, it is that consciousness or joy that we talk about, or the freedom that we were discussing. On the path of bhakti, this joy is nothing but the ultimate, that divine grace. That is again our true consciousness. The path only is different, but like Sudhaji was mentioning, the highest surrender is going inward, is that the pebble has sunk in completely, and now that will not create any ripples, but it only gives the effect that is desired for that water body. So this, on the path of jnana, is that joy or freedom. On the path of bhakti, it's the ultimate divine grace that is there within us. And both at some point is same. We call it bliss, joy, or the highest grace. It is us, which we are.
There is clarity that comes with it. The moment that ripple settles down, we can see the bed clearly.
And even nature, Panchabhuta supports us when we do this. When we start trying to go inside. When our thoughts are completely surrendered, Panchabhutas in the nature also supports us. Actually, my mother used to say when I was young, she used to always, for all the children, for everyone, she used to say, வெறும் நல்லதையே பேசு, மேல அஸ்வினி தேவதைகள் நடமாடின்னு இருப்பா, அஸ்து அப்படின்னு ஆசீர்வாதம் பண்ணுவா, நல்லத பேசினா உனக்கு நல்ல ஆசீர்வாதம் கிடைக்கும். So that is actually nothing but attracting the positivity from the nature, from the world, from the universe. That time we never understood that, but now of course we can understand.
We are like an antenna is what she was trying to say. What kind of signals we give out, we attract that from the universe. So basically, if I give out positive signals, I attract also positivity around me. If I give out, negative signals, I attract negative signals from around me also. The kind of people, the kind of situations, everything, we are like that signal giving antenna around, attracting the forces that we give out at the end is what. So that is that tatastu, the devatas are always telling. So if I tell something good, in a way I attract that is what it's a very simplistic way of putting that, but it is very true. We are all like that energy giving, that signal giving radiators of energy of different forms.
Yeah, many times we call it telepathy nowadays. So I was thinking about you, and the same time you called me, like telepathy we have. So that is what the mind attracts, thought attracts different minds.
But yeah, so but then here the scriptures take you deeper. One is that mind, what kind of thoughts you have, that is good, and what you attract. Again, it is very external, the world. Yes, right? But there is something about going beyond the mind, and that is what our scriptures are pointing us to. We think I am this body, we think I am this mind. That is why the suffering is. The suffering comes because I am associating my identification with this body. I think, oh, my body is in pain. I don't say my body is in pain. I am in pain. I am having this disease. I am having this. I don't say the body is, no, but I am the indweller of this body, am I not? That is what the scriptures are. So as we go through, we will understand these details a little more. But to point to the real me, I don't know who the real I is. Sudhaji, Bhargavi ji did mention the 10th man story. The 10th man story says, 10 people cross across a river, and once they cross the river, they are all counting, and they see only 9 people are there. Oh, one person has drowned in the river. Oh boy, one person has drowned in the river. So much dukkha, so much sorrow. All they did was they didn't realize they were not counting themselves. They forgot to look at themselves. We all forgot to look at our real self. But who is that real self? We don't know as lay people. Who is that real person? We don't know who that is. We have forgotten. All our ignorance has veiled me from the real me. Whatever Vindhya was telling, you are there. And something happens and we move from that. What is that? I am there. Do I focus on that I am there before that moment happens? We forget. We take that for granted. I am there. That is what the scriptures, so many Upanishads, so many scriptures where in Puranas, everything has been written only to remind us, to turn and point us to our real true selves, to that higher reality. that is within us. I think time is up, so we will close. Yes, sir, Anu.
I'm so sorry, ma'am. I really didn't understand that pebbles and the water and the ripples example. I really didn't understand that. Bhakti Marga, Gnana Marga, and I didn't understand the connection at all.
No, the pebble is like the suffering. If I have put a thought, a negative thought, it is having a ripple effect. That one ripple causes more ripples and it spreads and it touches other ripples that are there around it. It is similar to that thought of, isn't that right, Vindhya? It is similar to the thought of I am like that antenna. What is the kind of energy I am giving out? I create that kind of an environment around
No,
me.
it was related to expressing our sorrow with the other person. It doesn't yield any result. It goes on increasing our. We repeat that, it increases. The ripple gets multiplied.
The more I speak about it, the more I express it, then the more expectation from the other person that they should now meet my requirement of some expectation that I have when I want to tell them. And now my sorrow has increased. Now this person also does not understand. I am not getting the thing. Nobody understands me. One more addition to the whole thing.
And the pebble sinking in, whether it is Jnana Marga or Bhakti Marga, is inward journey. So its inward journey on Jnana Marga will be realizing that who actually I am. Is that the pebble that I am? No. That is where we are trying to reach. That is something that has come to me. It's a situation that is sinking in. But it is not me. That is what we realize on the path of Jnana. On the
pebble
bhakti
is the external stone that has hit me, the external, this thing that has hit me.
And on Bhakti Marga, it is the same, that it's the pebble is again through divine, it is coming and it is merging in the divine. Where is that I am in this, like, taking the pebble or dealing with it and all. In Jnana, we realize that the pebble is not me. In Bhakti, we say that the pebble, even whatever it is, comes through divine grace, sinks in through divine grace. It is a divine. I am also divine. So it's ultimately the thing that I am not different, and whatever I am is the higher super consciousness, is what is the merger of Jnana and Bhakti in this.
The pebble is also his grace only in some way. We take it as in Bhakti.
Mean to say problem, whatever the situation comes, is grace.
It is grace.
Good or bad.
That's all.
This is what I mean. Now, reflection, that's it, which we have to contemplate through these verses, what we are trying to, go through in the next coming sessions.
Basically here, Gurudev is setting the stage for why scriptures are essential, how they are relevant to our lives. Okay, so that's the basic. So we'll close the session for today. Before I close, can we have one scribe for every session summarizing? It really is very nice if anybody can. And it's a very, it's a seva for us also. And it's a kind of manana for whatever we have been, and it's a service for everybody. Everybody gets to read through it one more time. So any volunteers, please come ahead and let me know. It'll be a great service.
I think what I understood from today's session is that the moment we start attaching all our problems or our discomfort or difficulties with the external world, it cannot be mitigated. It will be continuing to change with the kind of responses, stimuluses that we get from the outside world. So our true nature is the real nature. That is what I learned today, and the mind plays a very, very important role in formulating the state of ourselves. Whether I'm happy today, and the external world doesn't change by itself; it continues to go on by itself. how we respond to it, how we receive from the external world, how we understand it, makes a lot about, speaks a lot about the way we can, this thing, we feel about it. And second point what I could gather from Vindhya Madam was, as long as we start giving food for our mind, then it will have like a choice. The moment you have a choice, you have a problem. So choice, if you have a choice, you start feeding the choice, and then initially it is a dual, then it multiplies, it becomes more and more. So that's an endless cycle. So, and then you will never be satisfied with that. So that is one aspect we have. And we attract the way we emote, or the way we express, or the way we respond to the outside world. So the moment I respond well, the moment I think everything is not bad, everything is happening well in a very good way, we start attracting. The mind also goes into that state, and then it won't trouble us. And the important thing is everything, the pebble story, what is that both you have that, it's a thing from the Bhakti Marga. It tells you that the pebble also goes deep inside ourselves. So that is telling us that we should also dive deep into ourselves and then draw the inspiration, understand, and then, because the nature of our inner self is a very pure, joyous state. So the moment it goes inside, you also start receiving those. The vibrations will, as long as it is on the surface, you will have ripples. If it goes inside, you don't have any ripples and all. So that is an important point that I could gather from today's lecture.
Thank you for sharing your takeaways, Ramachandran. Thank you so much. As we go further, there'll be more and more learning. There'll be a lot of clarity. We will keep going, continuing on this journey. Thank you so much. Om Asato ma Sadgamaya Tamaso ma Jyotirgamaya Mrityorma Amritam Gamaya Sarve Bhavantu Sukhinaha Sarve Santu Niramayaha Sarve Bhadrani Pashyantu Ma Kaschid Dukkha Bad Bhavet. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om. Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om.